Hey, this is the Goal 60 coming at you for Week 1 College Football 2017. There's no pro football this week. That will start in Week 2 of college. So this week I broke down 3 total games. The first 2 videos were West Virginia and Virginia Tech. The second video was Cal and North Carolina. And the third video is going to be Alabama and Florida State. This is a huge game for this week. It's a huge game for the year. Coming out Week 1, a lot of polls have these teams in the top 3, each team in the top 3. And I'm looking forward to a great game. Hopefully it's going to be a very high scoring game. And that should tell you exactly how I'm leaning into this game. So just before I get started, all this information is mine. I have compiled this for several years now. Breakdowns and everything. Please feel free to use it at any time you want to, but just please use it at your own risk. No matter what you do, whether it be just talking at the water cooler or using this to try to make money, do it at your own risk. This is completely my opinion and my opinion only. So there are some stats in here that I did add in that are, just keep in mind these are readily available to anybody. I will, happily put this in the blog, put it on thegoal60.com, and also tweet these out. And like I said, please feel free to use them at your own risk. Okay, so with that said, let's jump right in. So this is a third of 3 breakdowns that I've done for opening week, Week 1, 2017. Alabama versus Florida State. Currently, the line is somewhere around 7. It's floated between 7.5 to 6.5, with Alabama being the favorite. The over/under opened at 53. A lot of money come in on the under. It's steadily been going down, and currently, as of Wednesday, August the 30th, it is at 49. So, I dug back into both these teams. The last 5 seasons, the opening game for each team, so 10 total games. Both teams combined for 10 games, the amount of games in that stretch that went over 50 points was 9-1. So that's not, 9-1 to the over. It's just saying that combined score, went over 50 points in each of those games 9 times out of 10. 7 of those games were played on artificial turf, just like they are this weekend. 6-1 went over 50 points. The public has loved the defense in this game. Obviously, Alabama usually brings in a really good defense. Saban is, the old school top coach, run the ball, control the clock, play great defense and special teams, and take home the trophy. Florida State has got this DB you may have heard of named James. Now, he is absolutely a stud on the football field. But with that said, the public is all over it because ESPN, all these other sports talk radios, all of them, no matter who you listen to, that guy is just going to dominate Alabama. Okay. So with that said, you typically look at 2, and this is going to sound completely off the wall, but if you look back, a lot of times when you have 2 really good defenses, that means the offenses have something to prove. Now, a lot of times they come out and they'll put up points, a lot more points than what is expected. I mean, if you listen to a lot of people, this may be a 3-0 game. In my opinion, it's not going to be a 3-0 game. And the same thing goes for the other side too. If 2 teams come in and they're just out of this world on offense, both teams, a lot of times your defenses will have something to prove. And if they've got any talent, it's going to be a lot less scoring game than what was expected. So just keep that in mind during the year. Both teams return their quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts comes back for Alabama. He's obviously very good at running the ball. Had somewhere around 950 to 960 yards last year rushing. He also passed for, kind of, I don't want to say mediocre by any means because he was a freshman, come in, took his team to the national championship. But he definitely has some room to improve. On the other side, Francois for Florida State is a very good quarterback. So right there, we've got two two quarterbacks that have something to prove, two young quarterbacks that I really think will make strides this offseason and come in this game throwing the ball around like you wouldn't believe. Next up, Saban potentially has his best offense that he has ever had. When you have this stable of running backs that's at Alabama right now and the offensive line block for them, I mean, you're going to try to control the game. But what that does is that frees up guys. Calvin Ridley out on the outside is a well-known name. You're going to have people, another player, Judy, wide receiver at Alabama. He's a freshman. You'll start to hear a lot more about him later on in the season. But I think he'll have some very good plays this weekend. Florida State could have the top running back or the top quarterback in the country. Possibly. Very possible. Obviously, people, jumping on Sam Donald or what have you out at USC. But this guy could possibly be one of the at least top 5 quarterbacks in the country. And they have the freshman running back Akers coming in, who's everybody in Florida is very high on. So I think he'll have a good game. I think the top matchup in this game will be Alabama's defensive line versus Florida State's offensive line. Whoever wins that battle is going to do well in this ball game. I think offensive line for Florida State is going to be well improved this year. Francois took a lot of hits last year, and I don't think that's going to happen this year. Projected stats for the game, I have Alabama rushing between 170 to 190 yards. I have them passing between 200 and 210. I have Florida State rushing between 130 and 150 yards and passing between 210 and 220. Projected score, I have Alabama winning the game 35-28, which falls almost dead on, 7 points with the spread. But if you add that up, it comes up with a combined score of 63 points, which is 14 points away from the current total of 49. So obviously, I look at there's value in the over. And as that money comes in on that under, if you wait maybe, you can even get a better line. But right now, 49, that's 7 touchdowns. I look at that being pretty good value. Here's a couple, stats for you that you may want to look at. Florida State, the over is 7-2, which is 77.8%. The last 9 games as an underdog on a neutral field. Florida State, the over is 4-1, 80%. The last 5 games versus non-conference teams. Alabama, the over is 4-0-1, or 100% in one push. The last 5 games against ACC teams. Bama, the over is 10-1, 91%. The last 11 games as a favorite. So I look at the over 49 as the play. So Alabama, Florida State, over 49. Please like and share this video. If you haven't already, watch the other 2 parts. Break down West Virginia, Virginia Tech, and also Cal, North Carolina. Remember to follow me at thegoal60 on Twitter and check out thegoal60.com. Thank you, and see you next week.